To another insightful episode on healthy living, reaching you from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Olamide Alhassan, and on today's episode, we're speaking with Dr. Ityo Aker Kenneth, the medical director at Garki Hospital. Dr. Ityo is a renowned specialist in orthopedics, trauma care, sports medicines, and deformity correction. With a wealth of experience in advanced trauma care and a deep commitment to improving patient outcomes, he has contributed significantly to both clinical practice and health advocacy. Today, we'll be discussing a wide range of topics, including the latest advancements in musculoskeletal care, his passion for patient advocacy, and how Garki Hospital is leading the way in providing cutting-edge treatments. We'll also explore some of the challenges facing Nigeria's healthcare system and Dr. Ityo's role in shaping its future. Thank you. It's so good to finally meet you, Dr. Ityo. And congratulations on your appointment as a medical director of Garki Hospital.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
All right, sir. I discovered that your specialty is in musculoskeletal trauma and sports medicine.
Yeah.
Could you share with us how far you've come on this journey and why you chose to focus on this area?
Well, the journey through medicine, my journey through medicine is it happens to be that I got pushed in. Ironically.
Pushed?
Yes, yeah, true.
Okay.
First of all, I wanted to be, growing up, I wanted to be a bus driver.
No, that's not possible.
Yeah, I was fascinated by these luxurious buses, especially in Achichuku, that would zoom past, and I was fascinated. So, over time, growing up, I discovered that, well, it died off, and then I ended up wanting to be a fine artist. Yeah, so I used to draw, make portrait, mold, do wood burning, do abstract drawings, right up to university days. I mean, so somewhere along the line, I didn't end up studying fine arts in secondary school, so I ended up with science.
Wow.
So I started up studying chemistry for 100 level, then I switched to medicine after first year. So I was forced to switch anyway. My siblings said, if you don't study medicine, we won't pay your school fees. So I was forced into medicine. My sole motivation first was to just pass the exam.
Okay.
I didn't want to be termed the person who failed that exam. So, and I ended up in medicine. Then finished NYC. So during the undergraduate days, I saw people who were writing something called residency and primaries. I said, no, I'm not going to write primary. So I ended up studying, getting out and entering surgery. I felt it was tough. I wanted higher challenges. So getting to surgery, I got fascinated by Professor Sir Dr. Hesin Wadiaro, KSJ, of blessed memory. He was, I loved the way he dressed, I loved the way he looked, I loved his camaraderie.
He was a surgeon too?
He's a surgeon,
okay.
Orthopedic surgeon, an excellent one for that matter. So I got in, and well, it happened that that was the closest person I admired, so I got into orthopedics. And then that's how my journey started. So getting in, I now try to, my whole ambition was to do in Nigeria what everybody is doing everywhere in the world. And that's why I stuck to it. And I've tried to excel. I've tried to gather knowledge. I've traveled around. I've tried to excel in every single thing I try to touch. The ones I don't understand, I get somebody who is better than me to mentor me, and then I take off. But for now, I don't think I'm taking on new challenges. I'll consider on the one and then retire.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
How many years has it been so far?
I've been an orthopedic surgeon since 2009.
Wow.
So I've moved to Garki Hospital in January 2012. And I've been working here since then. So, I mean, it's quite some time. And I've been a surgeon, I started resident in 2004. So it's a long time.
And I think I saw something around medicine since year 2000, and I was like,
yes.
wow, this is 2025. That's about 25 years.
Yes, that's when I graduated.
Oh, wow.
Started in 1992. ASU strike kept me till 2000, May.
Nigeria first.
Yes. Yeah.
Impressive. I also realized that Garki Hospital is actually utilizing a lot of cutting-edge technology. So being the medical director now, how's that been for you, especially in light of orthopedic works?
Yes. We've started having these innovations in Garki Hospital as far back as 2020, as far back as 2015, when we got involved in electronic medical records. And then we have started to explore ways that we make the hospital far better than its all peers around Nigeria. And then there's no reason why a hospital in Nigeria shouldn't be as good as any hospital in the world.
Absolutely.
And we all have the same brains. These same brains that will take everywhere, and then we excel. So our policy is to excel. These innovative technologies has helped us refine our processes. It has helped us take on larger number of patients. It has helped us to ensure patient safety. It has also helped us to track our productivity and outcomes. There's no way you will do the old ways and expect to track your things, because
Absolutely.
I mean there'll be a loss of records and all of them. Then the human factor, we try to remove as much as possible the human factor in patient care and patient monitoring as much as possible, so we can track our everything right back to 2015 when we started this. And every year we try to improve on what has been there before. And for this, we have also taken out further challenges. And then having laid that foundation, we're not really, jumping forward to other bigger things. For technology, and also in the core, other core fields, that it's sad that I think that may be my next challenge, that we should try and pull up all this data and then let the whole world know, because we have a huge amount of data. We are actually not saying what we are doing. So we are doing so much, but it's just on record in the hospital. It's not being opened up to the whole world to see, understand. And the knowledge not published is knowledge lost.
Absolutely.
And so we improve on that, I bet you.
You know, I literally just smiled now, because when we started, you said you were not going to take on any new challenge. And you just committed yourself just right now. So I'm wondering, there's a lot that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about your journey to being the medical doctor, to the medical director now.
Yeah.
How did that stem from, 13 years ago?
Well, you may find out that ironically, when I was doing residency, I orthopedics, I had hope that once I'm done with residency, I am going to open a traditional stroke allopathic medicine hospital. So I will have the two of them side by side, one facing the other way. So one side, if you come, I'll treat you in the allopathic way. The other side, I'll have my chicken farm, my goat farm. I also dress like the traditional healer, and I'll treat you.
Okay.
So it happened that after residency, I moved out of my comfort zone. I came to Abuja, and then I started, work here, and I picked up new challenges. These things about me keeps evolving. And I sank into the work in Garki Hospital. I'd never set up to be a clinical director, neither did I set up to be a medical director. I just was doing my work. I just do my work. And I try to be the best at what I do and any challenge I take on. And that's how it's been. So I happened to become the clinical director, head of surgery at a point, then clinical director. Then I kept on and on. I've been a clinical director since 2016. And then suddenly, early this year, or a little over a month ago, I was asked to become the medical director.
Which is
So
a beautiful feat.
if they felt probably they felt I had more to offer, or that things I could do to help leap from where we were, I'm fine. So I mean, is the responsibility or the expectation or the hope from the management that I would do well. I believe that's why they made me, but I don't think I did lobby, no.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, are you still nursing that dream of the trado medical aspect? Because I know most doctors, the reason why I ask is most doctors are always against unorthodox method, most of the time.
Well, you see, there's a dictum we have that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes.
And if these tricks, I'm talking about the trado thing, I mean, the new tricks, then I believe I may not fit in. It's difficult to go and start an animal farm.
Okay.
And then getting involved the veterinary doctors alongside me. I don't know how long. The tenure is 4 years.
Of course.
Yeah, and I don't know how strong I will be 4 years from now that to take on new challenges. But you see, the issue about traditional and alternative medical practice, there's nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
Number one is that the truth is, if all the orthopedics and trauma cases turn up in the hospitals, we will not handle it.
Because I was going to say
Yes,
that.
you can't handle it. There are large numbers. So, and there are very few orthopedic surgeons. And the orthopedic practice is such that a lot of even the regular doctors do not understand the full spectrum of care or what is expected for a fracture patient, or to be done to a fracture patient. So maybe our curriculum should improve. There should be more exposure of the undergraduate orthopedics, so that they will take off all this thing about traditional bone setters and stuff like that. Because you find out that you still find some group of doctors, because they don't understand orthopedics, still refer complex fractures to traditional bone setters, and they get messed up. By the time you present an orthopedic surgeon, you say, wow, what happened here? I got referred by a medical doctor. So these things, we need to, the only thing we need to do about the traditional bone setters and all the others is to give them orientation, so they understand what to take on, what challenge to take on. I, as an orthopedic surgeon, it's not every orthopedic care I take on. If you bring a spine surgery to me now, I won't take on it, because I've gone off spine surgery for a long time. I'll mess it up. I've gone off arthroscopy, reason that I'll do lots more joint replacement. Our burden is so much, so I've gone a little bit off it. So I'm not going to take on it. So everybody must learn where to stop.
Absolutely.
So otherwise, I mean, you can't be a master of all trade.
Definitely. So does that mean that you believe or you do not believe in traditional bone healing? I
believe in, you know, the truth about this is that they say the medicine I'm using is what nature heals itself. Once you bring the bone edge to edge, it's going to heal. It's a method of bringing that thing edge to edge, bone edge to edge that we're talking about. We have refined, medicine started off as traditional things. So it's just been refined over years to this level. So I cannot say that I do not believe in them. Yes. But it has been refined. It's almost like, look, in those days, you used to climb camels and horses to travel to Lagos. Does it mean that when we are going to Lagos now, we should use camels and horses because our grandfather used camels and horses? No. You fly. You are using trailers. Does it mean that we should use, that's the evolution, bicycles, motorcycles, now the aeroplanes. So when I want to get to Lagos, or if I want to get to UK now, or US, should I go by ship? Because that used to be the mode of transportation. There are planes. So things have evolved. But those who can't, where if you do not have these flights around you, you may use cars. In certain areas of Nigeria, all these cars and bicycles are not available. See, use they use donkeys and horses. They are not to be discarded, in fairness.
Absolutely. So I also discovered as a specialist, you place so much emphasis on personal development and research.
Yeah.
So what aspects of your research would you say has positively affected your day-to-day practices in the hospital?
Yeah. So for everything we do, it must be evidence-based.
Absolutely.
So we keep track of every outcome of patients we treat. And then these are data we pull. So I was an editor of a journal, so I was involved deeply into researches and research methodologies. And then I know the importance of all these research things. And we have a medical audit unit here. So periodically they run audit of our outcomes. So we set targets. If we are now using enoxaparin and compare with aspirin and discover that the outcomes are no different, there's actually no need using one from the other.
Okay.
Then if we discover that our method of treating certain injuries, so certain disease is not doing well, we'll now introduce another and follow it up, and they will compare. So this helps to refine a lot of our treatment protocols. So for over the past years, our research led us to evolve in designing protocols that are cost effective, and then they have better outcomes and for the whole hospital.
You talked about orthopedic surgeons not being so much in Nigeria. So how do you cope up with the pressure of the people that come in, and how many people do you even get to see daily or operate on daily?
Well, I have 5 orthopedic surgeons in Garki Hospital. Out of these 5, each person sees about 160 patients per month.
160?
Yes. So there's an orthopedic clinic every day, Monday to Friday. I do not run clinics. I do not see patients routinely in clinics, but I still see like 10 to 15 in a day. But the other side is I do 3 to 4 surgeries every day, Monday to Sunday.
And how long does a surgery take on the average?
Well, if I'm doing a joint replacement, a single knee, 1.5 hours or less. So there are actually very complex ones that could take me 2 hours. But then, I mean, public holidays are my heaven for surgery. I mean, the hospital is calmer. I get to do lots of them on weekends and public holidays. So when others are resting, I use the opportunity to clear out my backlog. But yes, I do 3 to 4 surgeries every day. Today I have like 4 lined up.
So on the average, how many patients should a doctor see in a month? Ideally.
Ideally, see, the doctor's job is coming to work and seeing patients. So you're expected to work from Monday to Friday. Forget whatever you hear about whether a doctor sees a patient. No, it's Monday to Friday. You're a civil servant. It's 8 to 5 p.m.
Absolutely. But you know, we look at what is ideal so that we don't have some sort of brain drain.
No. Well, you must be productive. Forget everything about it. You must be productive. You must generate your income. So if you are not generating your income, you have no business. Look, it's 8 to 5 p.m. job. I suspect that once you're at work by 8 o'clock, you see patients. Your business is seeing patients, taking care of patients. So if you're either seeing patients, outpatients, or doing surgeries, or doing ward rounds, or having some form of engagement with this patient. So in standard clients, you get to see, if you are not in theater, you should go see your patients. So I expect that you should see like 15 patients every day.
But at the same time, we expect that the doctor should also get some rest.
It's expected that everybody should rest after you close from work, and then you're on your public
What about
holidays.
in between work? Because
you can take a 1 hour. You're entitled to 1 hour
most
break.
of the time, we even find doctors who fall ill themselves because they probably are looking after others and forgetting about themselves.
You see, that's why we say that the prescriptions for the patient. So doctors advise for the patient, not the doctor himself. But we need to be giving ourselves pieces of advice too. So in fairness, if you have this 8 to 5 p.m. job, you should have 1 hour break, just stand up for everybody. You have to take that 1 hour. You can take a lunch, you can take a power nap. It's good for the brain. You may get fagged out. And then, eat before you come to work, take an hour break, then please close. Do not take work home. Everything you need to do should should be left in the office. Burnout is real. You can get carried away by the patient care. No, I have passion for this. If you're going to die today, they will never finish.
And we know that stress kills very fast.
Stress kills very fast. It ages very fast. I've gotten bald in the last so many years. I've gotten abnormally gray. But yes, occasionally, I will tell myself, look, take a break, take your lunch. My secretaries usually insist that I eat in between, even when there's pressure, they'll stop the patient. But yes, sometimes I get angry, but I forget. In fairness, I forget to eat a lot of times. Sometimes I'm operating and I discover that, the last time I ate was yesterday, and this is around 4 p.m. Sometimes, but after that surgery, I'll go eat and take a power nap, and then I just come back.
And we know doctors always advise, make sure you take breakfast, lunch, and dinner, possibly even take meals in between.
Yeah, that's what I say the doctor advice for the patients.
Okay, so I also know you're an advocate for patient better care, because that actually exemplified in what you did this morning. We're expecting you, but you went around probably looking after all the people you had on ground and all of that.
Yeah.
But how has that been so far for you with this new role as a medical director, being a surgeon? I'm sure there are lots of responsibilities on your table.
True. And the important thing about being a medical director is that your customers are the patients. So so my marker or my success as a medical director is the satisfaction of my customers, who are the patients. So I'm advocate of my customers. I'm marketing a product called medical care. So whatever I'm doing is to satisfy those customers. So the customers, we in medical practice call it patients. So my patient satisfaction is utmost.
Absolutely.
Utmost. And see, the customer is always right. So that's my whole entire fulcrum of my operations. Whatever is best for the customer. So everything here. That's why I keep telling people, my office is not under lock and key. I need to attract them to come. So please never stop my customers from seeing me. I'm not a lord. So if they desire, if they want to see me, please let them come in. If they have a complaint, let them come in. Everything is refined and revolves around this customer or patients. So it's for the utmost patient, everything. So just forget it. The aesthetics, to the equipment, to the patient, to the staffing, everything is all for the patient's care.
Of course.
Everything revolves around. If there's a drop, even if body drops the ball in this patient care, that is where I'm going to hammer. I'm more interested in the feedback from my customers, patients, to enable to refine the whole process and the patient's journey through the hospital.
You know, I was going to ask that because leadership is crucial. Any leadership role is crucial. Then talking about in healthcare system is even much more crucial. And in a hospital like Garki Hospital, you know it's a lot of tasks. So how do you work with your team to make sure that they stay motivated and they're able to better attend to patients? Because most of the complaints that most patients that you tag customers have is that most healthcare places that they go to, they don't attend to them properly. You hear, and you know what they say, that when you have one bad customer, they tend to tell like 10 more people how terrible that these services are. So how do you navigate your team to be able to work efficiently and still stay motivated to serve your customers better?
Well, you see, this is a labor market. We must learn to keep staff. We should learn to, I've tried to cultivate a team of workers. I've learned to delegate to a lot of my subordinates. And I learned to give tasks, and I follow up with this task. Then I have a way, I also have another team that monitors and evaluates all the staff. I also have, usually, I have to go down and evaluate myself because, well, I'm in the pit myself. I see patients, I do my ward rounds, I do my surgeries, I move around inconspicuously, and I come at odd hours and interact with people. I'm not off, I'm not unreachable. And I think I usually tell everybody that my phone number is a public utility. You call it, I pick anytime. So I try to open up wide so that I can get feedback. And I also try to ensure that my staff are not humiliated. I don't put down my staff. I explain to them. I don't push down others. I give them a reason why things are done. In the whole of this mix, you understand that the greatest motivation is still money.
Absolutely.
So, in this milieu of a bit of low earnings in Nigeria compared to the West, we can do as much as our pots can share. So we are largely private. We generate the salary, we pay for our consumables. Based on, we are a bit lot more transparent in our finances. We see our books. If the pot is big, we share more. So what we try to do is to pay to motivate them according to the industry standard. And we also have a reward and punishment. For the staff who work more, there's actually more for them.
Okay.
For the staff who work less, we actually may assume that you actually would not actually need your service. So instead of getting you depressed about the work, I mean, you are not seeing patients, you are not engaged, we'll let you off. For those who are doing well, we increase your emolument and then actually even increase your workload or increase the number of personnel so that you don't get burnt out. So with this, we have tried to get them motivated by the workload and the income from the work. So, and I believe if they are not satisfied, my doors are open. I think I'm too small in size. I'm not intimidative. So I don't think they should give me a feedback.
You know, I have to ask that because
Yes.
in every organization, your first clients are your team members who end up, you know, expressing whatever they feel and transferring it to the outer world. And especially in a case where you're dealing with trauma patients and all, whatever it is you take in, whatever it is you have inside is what you're possibly able to give out. So that's why I had to ask that question. How do you deal with them and how do they in turn deal with those trauma cases? Well, trauma patients, rather.
Yes. So when you see with like my team, for example, well, I have a team of. Let me be specific. Let me handle where my
specialty.
core specialty is, core
Exactly.
competence, orthopedic practice. I have 5 of them. I just had the 6th one.
Okay.
So we are 5. We are 6 now. So all of them, we share the task. I do not. Still take my call duties. So during my week of call, I'm on ground. I see all my patients. I do all my surgeries. I still see all my patients in the ward. I don't ask them to come and see my patient. And because I do that, I expect them to do the same thing too.
Sure.
Yeah. So if they are to go off and I'm expected to cover, I should still cover for them too. Same way, if I'm not available, cover for me.
Okay.
Then, if they take on extra tasks, we remunerate them, which is the other side of me, which I don't, because I'm the leader. So I don't expect to get that back. So then, seeing that I'm doing the same thing, I don't think there will be, and then they also see how I treat my patients.
So they learn
So
from
they
you.
learn from it too. If your leader is not doing what is asking people to do, then there's a demotivation on the first level. So if I'm doing, I expect them to do the same thing too. So and then because they also see me working all week long, they also book their cases on weekends too and others. Then they also see my communication with my clients. They also do the same. So, and I also get my feedback from all the other patients. Some call, I want to especially thank that particular doctor, that particular medical officer. So it's, I do think, and then I also ask them, are there ways that I can do better? Are there ways that this hospital can do better? And I receive feedbacks. And I usually take a look at them. Are there, this thing you are saying, is it practicable? Is it implementable? Can it be done immediately? Can it be delayed? Can we work around it? And that's how we look at it. So in everything at all, there's nothing impossible with every suggestion.
Absolutely.
If you actually come in and say, look, my coat is too bad, I should get a red one. And then we will look at it and discover that it's actually good. We pick it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions from all of them.
That's impressive. So looking at a broader picture, What role do you think hospitals like Garki Hospital, private hospitals like Garki Hospital can play, in bridging the gap in the healthcare system that we have in Nigeria? And do you think there will still be need for more public-private partnerships like this?
Big one.
Okay.
Very good. True. You see, the thing, if I were the regular public hospital, I don't think I'll be at work by 8 o'clock. Not 7:45, definitely. Maybe a bit later, and then.
Or maybe because you're a good person, you will still come early.
Well, you see, the thing about this is you cannot. You are in the mix. You cannot be. You have to adapt. But the thing about public-private practice, public-private partnership hospital is that I have a benchmark. If I don't do all this thing, at the end of the month, I won't be able to pay salaries, or I won't be able to replace things, equipment. And then if I'm not going to be able to pay salary, the hospital will fold up. I'm not having any funds from anywhere. Everything here is generated from within. So, and they will have to stay profitable. So, we can't even afford an industrial action. We don't owe staff. We don't owe anybody, staff emolument, sponsorship and everything. Public-private partnership or private sector, it's where we should strive to be. You will notice that every person in Nigeria who goes on medical tourism abroad or to India, they actually go to private hospitals. But we have this erroneous belief that, and then compare the private sector there to the public hospital here. It doesn't, it's wrong. Then you see the private hospitals there are the bigger ones, the government hospitals are the smaller ones. There are private hospitals that have grants that make them appear like public, but they're actually private. Because of the private injection into this public sector, they refine their processes. It's actually the best thing for the government. You are not spending a dime. You're not dipping the hands in and paying emolument. You are still engaging the public.
Of course.
You are still seeing the same client base. The private hospital do not see people on the moon. So, and then the work ethic is far better in the private sector or public-private. So I'm not saying that all the government hospitals should be let out to private hands. No. But what I'm saying is there is a framework for public-private partnership, even in this government establishment, either in part or in whole. This will actually inject efficiency in the processes in the in healthcare management. We've started working here. The Garki Hospital has been in operation in 2007. From that time till now, we have never shut our doors to any care for the patient. We've stayed afloat. We've been consistently seeing large number of patients. We've been operating every day. So, and then you don't discover that, I'm not sliding my colleagues in the public sector, but why should I go on strike? Why should I be owed in the first place? Why should the staff be owed? It doesn't make sense to me. Why should you even, when they are even there, it's almost like a routine. Every year you have periods of paid. You go on strike, when you come back you get paid. Those are labor laws, but for us in private sector, I will do everything so that we get there. Your due is paid. Give to Caesar what is Caesar. Give to the hospital what is the hospital. The hospital will give you what is yours. We meet a middle ground, and we never have costs to down tools or to have a drop in any equipment. We don't have any equipment in this hospital that goes spoiled and not remains unrepaired more than 24 hours. It must be fixed.
Let's talk about health insurance in Nigeria. On the average, I know you tend to see a lot of patients, and there are other cases where some patients can't even afford their own medical bills. So on the average, how many of these patients that you see daily actually have health insurance?
Well, the irony is that Garki Hospital has the highest number of enrollees on insurance in the whole of FCT. We have about 40,000 lives enrollees on insurance. And it's important to note that a lot of the healthcare practitioners do not understand insurance. It baffles me that we are even talking of insuring cars and bicycles and motorcycles, and then the people that ride them, the human beings that ride them, are not insured. It beats my imagination. We go on the roads and you see people, police and all this, stopping to check for your car insurance, your bicycle insurance. And then you ask for the man, the health insurance of that patient. Nobody is caring about it. And that is the important thing. So we are more concerned about this, the metal work, the mechanics, than even the humans who are doing it. See, the hallmark and then the future of medical care is insurance.
Absolutely.
We should pick on it. We should understand that, see, we are not saying your contribution should be able to pay for your whole surgery. No. It's a pool. It's just 10% of those people who contribute that will end up using it. It's a basic policy and principle of insurance. That is what is in play in health insurance. We must understand this. We must advocate for this. We have less than, I don't know, maybe 5% or 10% of Nigerians or the formal sector that are insured. So if only we jack it up to like 20 or 30%. In India has less than about 40% or 35 to 40% insured, maybe thereabouts insured, and they are better off. We're only asking. You see, it's only the federal government and a few state government that even on health insurance. If all the state workers, all the local government workers are enrolled on this health insurance, it's perfectly beautiful. We see that access to healthcare, it is basic healthcare. The basic general problem for most of the population can be handled by this basic insurance. Mm-hmm. I'm an advocate for health insurance. I have relatives I've enrolled on health insurance. They don't ask me for anything. When they are ill, malaria, typhoid, which is the commonest thing, they go to the hospital, get sorted out. What they pay is 10%. It's like nothing. And how much are you paying? 21,000 naira in the whole year. And the National Health Insurance Act has inbuilt things that will cater for everybody, even the non-formal sector, the informal sector. But you now find people refusing or not utilizing it, that it doesn't work. It works. I even do joint replacement for health insured patients. We do cesarean section, we do major surgery on insured patients. What does it cost? But we compare it to those who are paying $1 million for that procedure. But if you actually look at this, there's a multiplier effect to all of this. Number one is that this capitation actually gives you a buffer to plan. Then with that, everybody who had an insured family, we usually have one or two uninsured, then they may spend the money. If they are using your facility, that old person who is not insured, those are the ones that have all the problems, the joint problems, that need joint replacement, the back, they will come. You will make some money off them too. But I usually tell people that even if you are retired, go back to that insurance, those HMOs, renegotiate. They can deduct from your pension a percentage and still continue on that health insurance. But people assume that once I'm retired, I'm off insurance. No. They need to have a rethink. It is when you are old, that's when you even need it the most.
But what about the fact that maybe most Nigerians are not properly educated on this health insurance?
It's education.
My reason would be, for example, for car insurance, for example, once you know that you renew your car papers, everything comes with your insurance paper already. So it's not for bargain. that is already there in place. So what about if health insurance were to be like that? That if a patient walks into the hospital, they educate them on it. Everybody wants a good thing. But if they are not aware of what it can be like, they probably would never know they can get access to it. And most people think when it comes to insurance, it's such a big deal. Some people even think it's inaccessible. Some people think, oh, when it's time, I might not be able to get access to it. I remember speaking with a guy and he was telling me that, his wife is supposed to go for surgery and he knows that by the time they get to, so they are going to waste a lot of time in order to, he has insurance before they can actually get to attend to his wife. But to his greatest surprise, they were like, oh, you have insurance, this, that. And he presented his document and everything was done in no time. So it was now part of those who were talking about that, it's a good thing if you have health insurance. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, does this not boil down to, patient education?
True. I agree completely. We may likely be, we periodically give a lot of awareness. Talks on health insurance. And then, you see, but the bulk of people we hope that we lead it advocacy are actually the head maintenance organization themselves, the HMOs. We want them to drive it. Because, see, in the milieu of all this crowd you see in Garki Hospital, imagine you need to take out time to educate one person. There may be complaints to other on the back end. Look, we are wasting too much time. We want to see our doctor. Sure. So it's a lot difficult. But the thing about this is that I am hoping that there could be a legislation to the extent that if you go to renew your car papers, you should renew your health insurance. They should tag it there.
Yeah.
So this HMO should go and meet Director of Road Transport Services, so that as they are renewing, you automatically will renew your health insurance.
But
so
that may still limit us to only those who have cars.
No. It's for a start, because that's where it starts. So after that now, there's an act. This is not an act, so that if you have more than 10 staff, you're supposed to enroll them on health insurance. It's not being enforced. Probably the law enforcement should start going after organizations that have more than 10 staff to start arresting the owners so that they enroll us. They are paying huge penalties. So it's with that, I think you should spread. And then we also, the largest number of the formal sector still remains local government and state. But we'll focus more on the federal. If all the local government and state actually take up this health insurance, you see overnight it will blow. Everybody will be covered. We will not be talking about all this issue of malaria, typhoid not being treated. All this hospital that you go, you see patients being owing in bills. It wouldn't be there. It's actually, I don't know why there is hesitance or resistance to taking up health insurance, but it works. It does work. Even the medical workers, the hospitals, they will need to understand this. A lot of the private hospitals do not want the health insurance because they think, how will I treat malaria for 1,000 naira? Why won't you treat malaria for 1,000 naira?
All right, let's come back to you, talking about the patients that you see regularly for musculoskeletal injuries and all of that. Is there a memorable success story you'd like to share with us before we go?
Oh, yes. I had this woman who was flown from Port Harcourt. She's 74 on a wheelchair. The last time she walked was like, she told me 2 years. And I now asked, Mama, now the last time was 2 years ago. I said, what do you want? She said, I want to walk. So now I said, well, let's see if you can grant your wish. I said, Mama, if I do this surgery, will you cooperate with us and stand up and give the effort to walk? She said, yes. She had really bad knees. I almost gave up. We were looking at the joints. They were really bad. Curved to the side or diverging apart. And I did. The children were hesitant, but the woman was emphatic. She wanted the surgery. Well, we did the surgery. By the second day, she walked. Wow. Straight. She's been sending me videos of her walking to the market. She's a trader. And I look, in fairness, you walked last 2 years ago, I didn't think you walk in that direction. Then there's this last one. He's an he's an Oba. I know there are lots of Oba, so that wouldn't be diverting his name.
Of course.
He's 70. She said she's about 90 something. She had a bad hip. She had a fracture of the hip. He's gone from hospital to hospital over a 2-year period. Nobody has agreed to do his surgery. He now said somebody told him about me. So he came all the way to Abuja. So eventually ended up in Garki Hospital. And he said most of the problem was that nobody wanted to put him under anesthesia. So I got my anesthesia and asked him, Your Royal Highness, what do you want? He said, I want to be able to stand and perform my duties in the palace. I'm not going to jog. I'm not going to run. So my anesthesia said, Daddy, let's grant your wish. We did the surgery. Where is the short surgery? Hip, the shorter surgery, I mean, it's more straightforward. And now we're done. His Royal Highness walked the next day. Every day, every year, around the period he did the surgery, he's been sending me videos. He should be close to 100 now, because I did the surgery like four years ago. He's been sending me pictures. When the Queen Elizabeth, when did he pass on?
That was almost 2 years ago now.
Some few, yeah. So that was the same year I did the surgery. So every year he sends me the videos of how he's working. And actually even he takes walks around and works very well. This one, they give me gratifications. And then I look back and say, even if I didn't do anything nice, this one is my success story.
I love that. But at the same time, in these cases, why is it that you always ask them, what do you want? Is there a correlation between what they want and trauma care?
See, the thing about this is that you do not give, you do not treat what the patient doesn't think is a problem. So if the patient feels that this is not a problem, why are you treating it?
True.
It's not a disease. Something that is not a disease. So why are you treating something that is not a disease? So no. If we are trying to meet your problem. If what you have is not a problem to you, why are we treating it?
Absolutely.
So you must ask you, what's your expectation? So we meet your expectation. But if you are expecting way more than we can offer, we'll tell you. If it's what we can do, fine. So it must be what you want. If we can't offer what you want, then yeah, I may refer you to somebody who will offer what you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you envision for trauma care and orthopedic, treatments in Nigeria going forward?
We are expanding. Knowledge is expanding. Skill acquisition is expanding. And you see, every misfortune is a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely.
I want to especially thank Uncle COVID. Uncle COVID has done wonderful things to us. And also, I want to also thank Uncle Inflation. Uncle Inflation has done beautiful things to the healthcare development in Nigeria. So first, Uncle COVID locked the borders and nobody could go out, so we are forced to stay back in and then treat. And then we now discover that what was done abroad is actually done within.
Absolutely.
And then also thank Uncle Inflation, because we discovered that this money we used to go and spend abroad, we can get equivalent or better services from within. And then if you don't have the traffic or the patient base, there's no way you're going to excel. So the more the numbers you do, the better you get at it, and then you refine your processes. And I bet you when we were 10 years ago in orthopedic practice, not where we are now, we've gone far, very far. We are doing great innovative things in orthopedic practice. We are also we have plans to get into robotics. So before long, you will see all those robotic surgeries. They are going to be around in less than a year. Before the year, there are other hospitals that are already paid up for robots. They are going to be delivered in, and you are going to see robotic joint replacement, robotic spine surgeries. So, and then we are getting closer. You see other bigger hospitals are bringing in technologies within, so that it's actually going to be filtered, sifting through the whole country. And I think in the next 10 years, we may just do a catch-up.
Impressive. So any final thoughts on how we all can, contribute to the healthcare system in Nigeria and, give the world a better place?
we all should be our greatest, or we should blow our trumpet. I discovered that the foreigners actually blow our own trumpet more than us. We always look for the negative part in Nigeria, in healthcare in Nigeria, which is the wrong. Those people who want to develop their country and climes and institution usually do downplay those negative parts. There are more to the positive part in healthcare than a lot of what is out there. We should sing this one, savor the good part, blow it up. Do not blow out these negative ones. Everybody has, there are slums even in the best of cities in the world. Do we now take pictures of those slums and put them up? No. But would they take the beautiful pictures of the most beautiful place in those climes and they project it? So that is where it should be. What is good? What is desirable? What will uplift the country? Please, that is what should be out there. So please, don't project our negative. Absolutely. Let's project our positive. That is the way to build the system. Some of the negative actually make a lot of people, discouraged. But there's lots. But you see, they say the bad egg spoil the bunch. Please, let's remove those bad ones quick from our thoughts so that we'll project the good ones. That's my thoughts and my policy, and that's why I usually tell everybody I come across.
Thank you so much. It's such a beautiful place to anchor this conversation, and it's been truly a privilege to learn from you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we hope that you're not going to nurse going back to driving your bus.
Maybe a space bus.
Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. We hope this conversation has given you a deeper understanding of the vital work happening in orthopedics and trauma care and the importance of healthcare advocacy. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to bringing you more insightful discussions on healthy living. I am Olamide Alhassan, and bye for now.